Okay, now let's take a look at web controls. And these things are pretty exciting. These things just really do a lot of cool stuff. These are completely redesigned HTML controls. Microsoft went back to the drawing board and they basically mimicked the HTML environment and they fixed it. Now, HTML has kind of evolved and grown up through the years, and as a result, some of the tags have different ways of naming them. Some of them use captions, some of them use text to actually put names on the screen and so forth. Some of them are very similar, and we're going to go look at that in a few minutes. But what they did is they cleaned up HTML. They gave it logical names and functionalities based on the way we use them. They standardized those attributes so that to put the text on the front of a button, you use the text field, just like you use text to put information on a label and so forth. The way you can tell you're using a web control is it has an ASP namespace in front of it, and I'm going to show you those in just a few minutes. As a matter of fact, let's go on out to Visual Studio now and take a look at this. I've got an example set up that I want to show you. Now, this video may take just a couple of extra minutes. I've got a lot of stuff to show you here, and I want you to see what's going on with it. Let me go into ASP.NET Video, and I want to show you what I'm talking about. If you remember before, we were talking about the standard HTML controls. I'm going to go into HTML and take some comments off so that you can see what I'm talking about here. I have got I've got 3 controls on here. Now what I've got is I've got a drop down, I've got a selection, and a list box. Okay, and I'm going to run this and take a look at these quickly here. Now, to make these things show up, notice here's a drop down, here's a selection list, right? And then here's a list where I just choose. Now, to create these, it's kind of cool that we can do these, but to create these, look at the code that creates them. They're all select tags. Here's one of them, okay? Here's the other one, and of course there's the other one. And notice the only things that are different are just a few. Notice by putting multiple size, I changed it, just some of the tag differences. Notice this one has selected tag. Just some of the syntactical differences make these things show up. That gets confusing when you're trying to build and maintain these things. So notice on the left side over here in the toolbox now, we have HTML controls, and let's go back to design, and notice we have web forms. Here which are HTMLs, and notice they're identical, label, button, text fields, and so forth. And if I go to web forms now, notice I get the same thing. But what I want to do now is, if I put a list box on this form, so I'm going to click here, and I'm going to draw a list box, okay? And then I'm going to click here and draw a drop-down box. Now, if I go to HTML, I want you to notice what this thing put on here. Notice ASP list box and ASP drop-down list. And I want you to notice something about these things. They run at the server. Notice run at server on these things. Okay? So I can tell exactly what they are by looking at them. This makes my code much easier to run. Some of the ones I really like. Notice checkbox. If I drop a checkbox on here, and then if I drop a radio button on here. And again, these get confusing in standard HTML. Notice checkbox, radio button. And so this is the way to do these things. Now, this makes it much, much easier to see what's going on. And notice when you render these things, or when you execute these things and look at them in a web page, they look, oh, I didn't put them within the form tag. But they look exactly like you see, like you've always seen these things. So let me go back and grab these things. And I will cut them. I'll paste them inside the form. And now when I run them, web form controls, I'm actually glad this happened, must be inside a form tag to work. But notice, these things work. We didn't set the text on these so we don't see them. And there's our drop downs. So they look the same. So that's what these web forms look like.